chosen ones. Listen closely. A moment has arrived that will ripple through your spirit. I am Shi Heng Yi, and today you stand at a threshold where your actions, your patience, and your quiet discipline have begun to echo in ways unseen. There is a force, ancient and eternal, that watches when growth is real, when effort is sincere, and when alignment with a higher purpose is no longer just a hope, but a living truth. In this video, we will journey through the hidden currents of Shaolin wisdom and personal mastery. You will uncover teachings that few speak of, truths buried in centuries of practice, where stillness becomes power and the silent victories of your mind and heart shape destinies. We will explore how patience, courage, and humility quietly summon the attention of divine forces, and why your recent choices signal a readiness for what comes next. I will share lessons that go beyond common advice, revealing how mastery of the mind, detachment from ego, and disciplined action transform challenges into sacred stepping stones. You will learn why obstacles are not punishments, but gateways, and how your growth silently inspires forces greater than yourself. By the end of this journey, you will see why every small act, every deliberate step, matters far more than you ever realized. Stay with me until the end, for these revelations are subtle yet powerful. They carry the kind of insight that can reshape your understanding of purpose and spiritual alignment. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, the place where ancient wisdom meets modern awakening. If the path you seek calls to you, subscribe now and step fully into the teachings that honor your journey. Even the mightiest river begins as a single drop, flowing silently before it carves valleys through mountains. In the quiet of your daily choices lies a power often overlooked. True mastery is not born in moments of grandeur, but in the humble repetition of small, deliberate acts. Each step taken with care, each breath aligned with intention, gathers strength over time, unseen by the world, yet visible to the forces that guide life itself. In the Shaolin tradition, a student polishing the floor, balancing on a single stance, or tracing the same forms hundreds of times is not performing a task. They are cultivating presence. Every repetition strengthens the mind as much as the body. Every effort, no matter how small, builds resilience, patience, and clarity. These are not trivial exercises. They are the quiet accumulation of power that shapes destiny. God notices these unseen moments, those choices that seem insignificant in the eyes of others. The way you rise before dawn to train your mind, the way you resist impulses and act with discipline, the way you honor the smallest duties with unwavering attention. All of this matters. The universe responds to consistency, not spectacle. It whispers approval to the one who persists silently, who does not seek applause but seeks alignment with purpose. History and Shaolin lore are filled with masters whose greatness began in obscurity. They swept floors, held stances, and repeated motions for years before their skill became visible. Yet every seemingly mundane effort was a thread in the tapestry of their mastery. So remember, chosen ones, monumental change begins quietly. Your daily devotion, repeated over time, builds a foundation that cannot be shaken, a power that cannot be ignored. The mind is a battlefield, silent yet profound, where every thought can become a master or a masterless wanderer. True mastery begins not with grand actions, but with the quiet discipline of observing the mind without judgment. In the Shaolin tradition, mindfulness extends far beyond meditation. It is a daily practice of noticing impulses, guiding attention, and responding rather than reacting. The warrior who conquers the outer world first learns to conquer this inner realm. Every thought carries energy. Unchecked, it scatters like leaves in the wind, pulling the spirit in directions unknown. But when the mind is trained, each thought becomes a tool, each impulse a messenger. Observing without attachment allows the mind to settle into clarity, revealing patterns, intentions, and the subtle currents of higher purpose. The one who can pause before reacting, who can witness anger without surrendering to it, or fear without being controlled, begins to move in harmony with the universe rather than against it. Ancient Shaolin masters believed that mastery of the mind precedes mastery of the body. The hand cannot strike with precision if the mind wavers. The foot cannot endure long hours of practice if the mind complains. Internal chaos is the greatest enemy, more formidable than any opponent in the physical realm. When the mind is disciplined, the heart aligns naturally, and actions flow effortlessly, guided by wisdom rather than impulse. Even in moments of stillness, the work continues. Observing thoughts, returning focus, letting distractions pass like clouds, these small repetitive acts of attention weave strength into the fabric of consciousness. Divine forces respond to this inner harmony, recognizing effort that is invisible to the eyes of others. Conquering the mind is not a single victory, but a lifelong devotion. Yet with each step, the soul grows lighter, sharper, and more attuned to the purpose that waits quietly, ready to reveal itself. Stillness is often mistaken for weakness, yet it carries a strength deeper than motion ever could. In the quiet corners of the monastery, Shaolin monks sit for hours, their bodies poised, their minds alert, yet their presence appears calm and unmoving. This stillness is not idleness. It is power refined and concentrated, like water resting before it becomes a stream. When the mind and body pause, clarity emerges. Decisions that once seemed tangled become simple, and the path forward reveals itself without struggle. The world moves quickly, often demanding reaction before understanding, but those who master stillness learn to respond with precision. In the pause, insight is born. Discernment grows where impulse once reigned. Even the smallest hesitation practiced consciously can prevent a lifetime of missteps. Ancient teachings remind us that silence in action communicates more than words ever could. A calm breath before speaking, a patient gaze before moving, an unmoved heart in the face of chaos. These are marks of mastery. The external world may not notice, yet higher forces always do. Stillness signals control, presence, and alignment. It is a form of respect to the universe, an acknowledgement that one does not act without purpose. Power does not always announce itself with noise or spectacle. Often it is carried quietly in a hand that steadies, in a step that does not falter, in a mind that observes before reacting. The practice of stillness trains endurance, patience, and inner authority. Those who cultivate it discover that the world does not need to be conquered outwardly. Mastery of self is the ultimate victory. In silence, the soul strengthens, the mind sharpens, and the heart attunes to guidance far greater than any instruction written or spoken. Stillness, when embraced, becomes the language of true power. True courage often whispers rather than roars. It is not the clash of swords or the defiance of enemies, but the quiet choice to face the shadows within. Every soul carries hidden fears, unspoken doubts, and corners of weakness that we prefer to ignore. Personal mastery begins the moment one turns toward these shadows instead of fleeing. In Shaolin philosophy, the warrior's greatest opponent is rarely found outside. It is the uncertainty that lingers in the mind, the hesitation that freezes the hand, the old patterns that bind the spirit. Confronting them requires more than bravery. It demands awareness, honesty, and unwavering integrity. To sit with discomfort without distraction, to observe fear without judgment, and to move forward even when certainty is absent. This is where transformation is born. Every challenge faced inwardly ripples outward. When you acknowledge your weaknesses, the mind grows flexible. When you accept your doubts, the heart becomes resilient. Every act of courage, even if unseen, refines the spirit, building strength that cannot be measured by the world, but is visible to the forces that guide life. Divine presence responds not to spectacle, but to this quiet, consistent bravery, the courage that grows slowly, like roots beneath the earth, unseen but unshakable. History and Shaolin teachings are filled with masters who achieved greatness not by avoiding fear, but by embracing it. They walked into uncertainty, faced the aspects of themselves they feared most, and emerged stronger, wiser, and more aligned with their purpose. True courage is not the absence of fear, it is acting with discipline and clarity despite it. Each moment you confront your inner shadows, you strengthen the mind, steady the heart, and prepare the soul for higher guidance. Transformation always begins within, in the silent chambers of the self, where bravery blooms unseen yet undeniable. Patience is a quiet force, subtle yet profound, shaping the course of life in ways that haste never can. In the still halls of Shaolin temples, monks move with deliberate care, understanding that every action carries weight and consequence. Progress is rarely visible to the eye. It unfolds slowly like roots growing deep beneath the soil, unseen but vital. Trusting this process is not passivity, it is an act of faith, a recognition that timing and rhythm govern more than effort alone. Hastiness disturbs the balance of body, mind, and spirit. When movement is rushed, mistakes follow, clarity fades, and energy scatters. Shaolin teachings warn that true mastery arises from steady, conscious action. Each breath taken with awareness, each motion repeated with care, reinforces the harmony that guides the practitioner forward. Patience becomes a tool, a sacred discipline that allows the mind to settle, the heart to align, and the soul to attune to forces beyond immediate perception. Divine presence notices the steady, unwavering heart. God values those who persist quietly, who understand that real growth is measured in the subtle accumulation of effort rather than dramatic displays. Each step taken with calm focus, each moment accepted without resistance, signals readiness for greater purpose. Patience transforms waiting into preparation, stillness into strategy, and persistence into unseen power. The path of mastery is rarely a straight line. Obstacles, delays, and uncertainty are not interruptions. They are lessons in endurance, invitations to refine character and deepen awareness. Those who embrace patience discover that time itself becomes an ally, teaching discernment, humility, and trust. The soul learns to move in harmony with life's natural rhythm rather than against it. In patience lies power, not loud or forceful, but enduring, profound, and deeply aligned with the wisdom of the ages. When action is disconnected from intention, it becomes like a boat adrift, moving yet without direction. True mastery arises when each movement, each decision, and each effort reflects the values held in the heart. In Shaolin practice, precision is not only in form but in purpose. Every stance, every strike, every breath is a declaration of alignment between what is felt and what is done. Intent shapes energy. A task performed with awareness carries far more weight than one executed out of habit or distraction. When actions mirror the soul's calling, they become vessels of meaning, transmitting strength and clarity into every moment. The world may not always notice, yet the inner realm, the mind, the spirit, and even divine forces recognize this harmony. Energy flows seamlessly when thought, heart, and deed are unified, creating a presence that radiates confidence, wisdom, and quiet authority. Shaolin masters often speak of this principle through ritual and discipline. Training is never for show, it is a practice of intentionality. Repetition without purpose is hollow, yet deliberate effort strengthens both body and spirit. By cultivating awareness of intention, the practitioner learns to act with discernment, to respond rather than react, and to live with integrity in every choice. God notices the purity of intention expressed through action. Small acts performed with honesty, care, and alignment carry more weight than grand gestures performed without meaning. The heart that moves in harmony with purpose signals readiness, sincerity, and devotion. Life unfolds with greater ease when actions echo inner truth, and the soul finds resonance with forces beyond comprehension. True alignment is not a single moment of perfection, but a continuous practice, a path where intention and action converge, and where mastery emerges quietly yet undeniably in every deliberate step taken along the way. The mind that clings to recognition is like a mirror smeared with dust. It cannot reflect truth clearly. Personal mastery begins when the need for praise, comparison, or approval fades, leaving space for clarity, focus, and genuine growth. Shaolin philosophy teaches that ego is a veil, distorting perception and slowing the path to wisdom. It whispers of achievement and status, yet masks the deeper work that shapes the spirit. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means moving with purpose, without being swayed by applause or judgment. A monk polishing the floor does not seek admiration. A student repeating forms does not seek applause. Their commitment is to the practice itself, to the refinement of mind and body. In this quiet devotion, energy flows unimpeded, attention sharpens, and decisions arise from clarity rather than desire. The heart becomes free to observe, learn, and respond without distraction. When ego dissolves, humility emerges as a natural companion. The one who acts without seeking recognition builds strength invisible to the world, yet powerful in the inner realm. Divine forces respond to sincerity. God recognizes the intention behind effort, the quiet persistence, and the humility that allows growth without boastfulness. True progress does not announce itself. It reveals its presence through resilience, discipline, and alignment with higher purpose. Even in moments of success, detachment teaches restraint and balance. It reminds the practitioner that life is not a contest, and that value is measured not by how others see us, but by how faithfully we honor the work, the path, and the principles that guide it. By releasing attachment to ego, the spirit gains freedom and mastery unfolds naturally. In this space of humility, the soul becomes receptive to guidance. Energy flows with purpose, and every step moves closer to the truth that lies quietly within. Energy is not something to be summoned in haste. It is cultivated, shaped, and refined through discipline. The body and mind are not separate forces. They are intertwined, moving together like two rivers converging into one current. In Shaolin practice, mastery arises from this union, where physical training strengthens mental focus, and mental clarity guides precise movement. Each breath, each stance, each controlled motion becomes a thread weaving strength through both body and spirit. Ritual and repetition are the foundations of this cultivation. The monk who rises before dawn to perform forms, who strikes the same posture countless times, is not merely exercising the body. The mind is being trained to stay present, to align intention with action, and to channel energy with precision. Discipline transforms ordinary movement into a form of power that extends beyond muscles and bone. It flows through the spirit, shaping resilience, patience, and awareness. Controlled motion is also a meditation. Each gesture, performed with attention and care, becomes a vessel for energy. Shaolin masters teach that inner power is not found in chaos or haste, but in steady, deliberate cultivation. The act of training becomes a dialogue between the self and the universe, where every repetition strengthens the vessel that carries life, intention, and action. God is drawn to those who respect and strengthen their vessel. The disciplined body reflects a disciplined mind, and both reflect a disciplined spirit. This devotion to practice, performed consistently and with integrity, signals readiness to receive greater guidance, clarity, and opportunity. Energy is not borrowed. It is earned, refined through patience, focus, and the quiet insistence on mastery. Those who honor their vessel with care, who merge physical strength with mental clarity, cultivate a force that is steady, enduring, and aligned with the rhythms of higher purpose. Challenges are often mistaken for misfortune, yet in truth, they are sacred teachers cloaked in disguise. Every obstacle carries a lesson, a hidden path to strength and insight that only those who approach with awareness can see. In the Shaolin tradition, difficulty is not avoided. It is embraced, examined, and transformed into wisdom. The mind that faces adversity without resistance learns patience, clarity, and resilience, like steel forged in fire. Mindfulness changes the way hardship is experienced. Instead of resisting, the practitioner observes, reflects, and responds with calm presence. A setback becomes a mirror, revealing weaknesses to be strengthened and habits to be refined. Every moment of discomfort offers a choice, to react with frustration or to act with awareness. By choosing the latter, difficulty becomes an alchemical process, converting struggle into growth, fear into courage, and uncertainty into insight. Ancient masters often taught that trials are not punishments but invitations. The monk who endures long hours of practice, the student who faces pain in pursuit of skill, the heart that meets disappointment without surrender, all are walking the path of transformation. Strength is measured not by what is achieved easily, but by how gracefully one moves through pressure, how consistently one remains aligned with purpose when circumstances are harsh. Divine presence honors resilience that is cultivated quietly. God observes the one who stands firm when no one is watching, who maintains composure when the world seems to conspire, and who turns obstacles into stepping stones. These moments of endurance shape character, sharpen the mind, and illuminate the spirit. Through challenges, the soul learns its own capacity for strength and clarity. Difficulties are not barriers, they are sacred opportunities, guiding the journey toward mastery, wisdom, and alignment with forces greater than oneself. True mastery is never contained within the self. The path of the spirit moves outward, extending its reach beyond personal gain, ambition, or recognition. In Shaolin philosophy, the highest form of cultivation is not only measured by skill or discipline, but by the ability to uplift others, to spread energy that heals, inspires, and transforms. Each act of service, no matter how small, becomes a reflection of inner strength and alignment. The practitioner who trains the mind and body diligently does so not only for personal growth, but to become a vessel of positive influence. Every lesson learned, every hardship overcome, and every insight gained carries weight when it is shared with the world. By offering guidance, support, or simply presence, one extends the fruits of inner discipline into the lives of others. Energy flows naturally outward when intention is pure, transforming individual mastery into a force that benefits many. Shaolin and universal teachings emphasize that contribution is not an obligation, but a natural expression of alignment. When the heart is open, when action is guided by compassion and awareness, personal growth becomes inseparable from collective good. The ripple of disciplined effort spreads far beyond the practitioner, touching unseen lives, altering currents, and inspiring change in ways imperceptible yet profound. God recognizes this alignment of self-mastery and service. Divine forces respond to sincerity expressed through action, honoring those whose refinement of mind, body, and spirit becomes a conduit for harmony and upliftment. True spiritual power is never hoarded. It is shared, multiplied, and reflected in the well-being of others. The soul that moves in this way finds purpose magnified, impact deepened, and presence harmonized with the greater rhythm of life. In cultivating the self while serving the world, mastery reaches its highest expression, becoming a living testament to discipline, wisdom, and the quiet grace of aligned intention. Chosen ones, every moment you dedicate to discipline, courage, and mindfulness is a step toward alignment with your highest purpose. The quiet victories, the small, deliberate choices, and the integrity with which you live each day signal readiness for the greater path that awaits. Remember, mastery is not measured by recognition or speed, but by presence, awareness, and the heart's commitment to growth. Face each day with clarity, act with intention, serve beyond the self. These practices transform not only your life, but the energy you share with the world. Divine forces notice sincerity, humility, and the quiet strength cultivated in patience and self-mastery. Let this guide your actions, both seen and unseen. As you carry these lessons forward, allow your spirit to move steadily, your mind to remain focused, and your heart to act with compassion. Embrace challenges as teachers, honor discipline as a sacred tool, and let your personal growth ripple outward to uplift others. If these teachings resonate, continue your journey with us at Shaolin Soulfire. Subscribe to the channel and walk the path of wisdom, courage, and inner mastery alongside a community devoted to growth and awareness. In stillness, in practice, and in quiet action, you are shaping a life of purpose, and every step matters.